Hello and welcome to Breaking Down Bad Books, a podcast analysing trashy bestsellers from a literary perspective. Following my breakdown of Stephenie Meyer's Twilight, I'll be digging deep into the raunchy Twilight fanfic turned erotic romance, 50 Shades of Grey. Although I'm not sure romance is the best word to use. Join me every Monday and Friday for chapter-by-chapter analysis of the book that Salman Rushdie said made Twilight look like War and Peace. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, or visit breakingdownbadbooks.com for all the listen links and contact information. I have a feeling that it's going to get awkward, but let's get through this together. Happy reading!
This is where the gaslighting gets really good.
My nickname around these parts is Dead Weight.
I hadn't been considering scissoring.
I'm prepared to travel in time.
We were deep into an Adam Sandler rabbit hole in this podcast. How did that happen? A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Barrett.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
I'm a jackass. I sat here, I was like, why is Kurt making that face? It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't. Oh, no, wait. Les always introduces Kurt. I don't know where my head's even at. Never mind. Hi, Kurt.
Hi.
You had this look on your face like, why did Jason forget me? And then Les introduced you. He's like, wait, did I screw up? Oh. I'm already getting off to the wrong foot. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, here we are. Another week. It's a Hallmark week this week.
Yes.
So Kurt. That was a loaded yes.
Yeah, it really was.
I apparently have looks on my face and I have intuition in my voice. I don't know.
That
misguided inflection.
I'm projecting a lot on Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt has opinions today.
I wanted to say something about, there's been a lot of news about the royal family because Meghan Markle is a friend of the show. And I think we watched one of her movies one time.
A friend of the show.
Yeah,
like she's been on a bunch of times.
Apparently when they came into the U.S., they had to be supported by Tyler Perry.
I heard about that.
And I wonder, are they obligated to watch his movies? Like, does he leave his DVDs in the house? And they have to watch. So, did you watch? Why did they get married? Part 2? No, we haven't gotten around to that.
You're saying that as if they wouldn't like those movies. I feel like Harry and Meghan are big, huge Medea fans.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was just surprised. I knew Tyler Perry had a lot of money, but I was surprised that he had that much money that his place is capable of accommodating royalty. And he hired security.
Oh, no, he is obscenely rich. He built this studio in Atlanta, like the big production studio there. That's his studio.
Right. Wow.
I'm not talking, because normally you'll hear the word studio and it just means like production company. You can set up an office anywhere, but a studio is like an obscene amount of land.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Because the fact that he not only housed them, he hired security for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of his shows, when production was starting back up with COVID, he paid for private homes in the same neighborhood for everyone in the cast, so that they'd be able to quarantine with their like whatever family units they wanted to bring along for filming.
Wow.
Oh, I did hear that. Yeah, he was flying people in his private jet. Yeah, that was really something.
I never thought in my life I would utter these words, but I am impressed by Tyler Perry.
I've heard
he's built an empire.
I haven't really watched a lot of his movies. I heard his live shows are a lot of fun.
Oh, like when he's Medea on stage?
Yeah, when he does his live shows, because he's still, I don't know if he's done them recently, but he's done them at least in the last 5 years or 6 or 7 years, because I know people who have gone to see him, and they said it's a lot of fun.
Well, I know that when he started out, his stage shows, you know how Kurt and I do the Fringe Festival circuit, and it's sort of a niche audience, and within the circuit, there are like stars and everything else within the circuit who people on the outside would have no idea who they are. But Tyler Perry, I guess, there's a whole church circuit, a black church circuit where people do plays. And I guess he was on that circuit. So with the black church circuit, he was well known long before he started doing movies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Well, he's doing well.
Wow. Yeah, I watched Harry and Meghan last night, and there was some bombs dropped.
Oh, is that a new bomb? Are we going to find out something new?
She is right now. That might be her now. She's a friend of the show.
But let's talk about happier things. Kurt, do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Yes, this is from Hollywood Life by Bonnie Fowler. Blac Chyna and quote-unquote best friend Dream Kardashian 4 rock matching pink jumpsuits in $400,000 Rolls Royce.
Oh.
At 32, shared a sweet moment she had with her daughter Dream Kardashian 4 in an Instagram post on March 6. The proud mother wore a matching pink jumpsuit, which included a long-sleeve zip-up top and fitted pants with her baby girl as they hung out in a pink-lined Rolls Royce. They posed for gorgeous pics together and also showed off some fun, including a game of rock, paper, scissors as they smiled and laughed in front of the camera. That's my best friend. Blac lovingly captioned the Instagram post. The model also wore...
Wait!
Wait for what?
Her name is Blac Lovely?
Blac Lovely? Blac Lovingly. Oh, did I say lovely? Blac Lovingly.
I thought it was somebody...
The model also wore pink shaded sunglasses with her outfit and had her nails painted yellow and long straight hair down with bangs styled in the front. Dream also had her hair down and showed off her adorable curls. It didn't take long for followers to comment on the cute post once it was shared. She looked just like Rob, LOL cutie, one follower wrote, referring to Dream's dad, Rob Kardashian, 33. She's growing up, another wrote. Others complimented the close relationship the mother and the daughter have. Blac's latest post isn't the first time we've seen her and Dream in matching outfits. In 2019, they were spotted sporting matching black and white tracksuits during an outing. That same year, they proved outfits aren't the only thing they can match when Blac shared a pic of her and her little gal showing off matching pigtails in her hair. When Blac's not the one sharing moments with Dream, Rob is. He recently posted 2 new pics of his only child to his social media account, and they showed her posing on a staircase and playing with a dollhouse while donning a blue and yellow football jersey, black pants, and black boots. He also shared a different pic of her rocking a blue T-shirt that had his name printed inside a white box inside of the front a few days before. She found Robert's shirt when Robert was just a child, he cheekily wrote in the caption.
Wow.
There you go. Everything you want, less outfits.
First of all, I'm happy that the news is back to normal and we get an outfit commentary on Blac Chyna, because without a commentary on what she's wearing, to me, that's an incomplete article.
Well, this made up for many articles.
As I listened to you read that, for whatever reason, my mind went to this concept. Somewhere in the world, there is a person whose job it was to develop a database that keeps track of when Blac Chyna has worn a matching outfit with her daughter.
That's the use of the internet these days. So
you know what I had a flash of, though, as you were doing the description? I had a flash of Mommy. Did you ever see the movie Mommy Dearest?
Yeah.
When Christina and Joan had like matching they were gardening or something, and they had like matching outfits, like with the gloves and the hat, and
Oh, okay.
I don't remember
like a
it.
mother-daughter outfit.
I remember no wire hangers ever, and cleaning with Clorox. Why did she get so upset about why? She's the one, like, who provided the wire hangers? Like, a little girl did buy the hangers.
They probably got them from the dry cleaners.
Right.
Oh, really? And there was just an overabundance of
Well, I think it was like
wire
all the
hangers?
nice
Wire
wooden
hangers?
hangers, and she probably had a couple of the wire ones in there, and Joan was not happy about it.
Well,
No.
you know what? I am no therapist. I'm no doctor. I am no therapist. But looking back now that we are more knowledgeable as a people, I would say that Joan Crawford was either bipolar or she had serious OCD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Like it's because especially the bipolar, because her mood swings, it seemed like her mood swings were very extreme.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to kind of go back through time, either, people famous or even people in your circle who you've lost touch with because they seem so erratic, and then to later find out about whatever kind of medical issues they may have had or mental issues they may have had that weren't ever diagnosed, because we didn't used to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And especially with women. Especially
Be careful.
No, it's true. No, it's true. It's like women would they would
get the vapors
seriously.
What is do we know what the vapors are?
What did you say?
The vape. You always hear like old movies like, "Oh, I've got the vapors."
The vapors.
Yeah.
I don't know about the vapors.
Like, oh, I'm feeling faint.
Yeah. I think that may have been the upper class way back then of saying, "I am drunk."
I got the vapors.
But yeah, there's a whole history. But even remember when we watched that movie Nearly-Implied?
Mm-hmm.
And she was and like they would like sometimes institutionalize women for like crazy stuff, like her going through menopause or a woman being upset or
just upset.
Or even like postpartum depression, because I think there was a woman who was in that movie who was hospitalized, but it was obvious she had postpartum depression. Right. So I think with women and mental health, I think that women up until recently have received like the short shrift with that.
Yeah. And we're recording this ironically on International Women's Day.
Oh, hey, good. Happy Women's Day. Woo, 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 woo.
Happy women.
Bow, bow, bow.
See, we wrote a song to celebrate.
A friend of mine, right before we started recording, had sent me a message saying that he got this awkward text from someone up above at his company today saying that they'd like to congratulate the women on the team for National Women's Day. And he thought it was weird because he's like, that would be like someone saying congratulating us on Gay Pride weekend. Like, it is a weird thing to get congratulated on, right?
That is true.
Congratulations.
Congratulations for being gay. Woo!
Yeah.
Well, why not? There's always a reason to celebrate.
That is funny. Well, okay. Let's get into this. Let's get into this movie.
Here we are.
So
it's called The Mediterranean Mix-Up, correct?
Sure
Mix
is.
Up in the Mediterranean.
Okay, mix up
in the Mediterranean.
Before we even get into it, I have a funny story because as Kurt definitely knows, but lets me know, I was having some trouble accessing the movie that I recorded on my DVR. Like, it went away after I watched a little bit of it. And so I had to use Kurt's access to get in and watch it. And because Kurt's always talking about Blac Chyna, his computer must know, because the first thing suggested to me under Kurt's login was her reality show.
That's not what. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but that's the reason the reason that is because I saved an episode. I like DVR'd, I guess you call it. I like DVR'd an episode, so it records every episode.
Sure.
So on the main screen, it's coming up on what's saved. So that's why.
That's funny. Blac Chyna pops up.
Yeah, Blac Chyna pops
It was
up. On my home
literally the moment I logged in, and I had to think about it for a second why that would be coming up. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
That's funny.
Because that's our bread and butter. Yeah, and there was nothing weird. There was nothing weird in my DVR or anything like that. Everything's normal.
I didn't look around anymore. I was a little worried.
I know that stuff like that. I get a little weird. Like, ooh, should I look and see what the? Maybe I don't want to know.
I mean, that's like right up there with looking through somebody's medicine cabinet or like the drawer by their bed.
Going through a woman's purse.
Yeah.
Well, I think
or a man's.
All right. Les, would you go through someone's medicine cabinet? You wouldn't go through someone's purse. You might
not go through someone's. I would not go through someoone's purse. I would not.
No. I don't know. I don't think you go through someone's medicine cabinet either, because you know what? I don't think you want to know what's going on.
I think I have looked, not because I'm trying to be nosy, but because sometimes I'll have like a headache or I have something stuck in my teeth, and I'm just like, I don't want to ask them for floss. It's probably right here.
Oh, great! They have morphine.
Yeah. Well, that's like secondary.
But yeah, okay. So if the medicine cabinet is open, I will look.
Define open, because sometimes it's like it's not closed properly because the latch or whatever. Like like, is that open to Les?
Okay. If it makes a noise, then it's not open.
What do you mean makes a noise?
Like like if it's cracked open and it goes when you open it.
Well, why would you open it if you thought it wasn't open?
Actually, I'm really good though. I don't open medicine cabinets. I honestly don't.
Okay.
No, see, I didn't think you did. I know you like to spy and stuff like that, but
but that's different.
I don't know about the medicine cabinets, because I don't know if that's kind of like you're literally opening up something you don't want to open. You know? I'm not nosy for evil. I'm nosy for good. So like opening up someone's like medicine cabinet or like going through their purse. No, that's nosy for evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like medicine cabinet is like, it's one of those things that if you really want to hide something, you wouldn't put it in there anyway, because other people might potentially see it.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. And especially, well, I guess not. I was gonna say especially these days, but not currently, because we're not going to parties.
Right.
Or we shouldn't be going to parties.
Yeah, be careful. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But there's sometimes, like, if you have like pain pills and stuff, I hate to go there because we're talking about the Hallmark channel, but people do go in and steal like pain meds and stuff. So you wouldn't keep that in your medicine cabinet anyway, because people steal that stuff.
Yeah.
I will say, in terms of Hallmark movies, this one came the closest to being a plot that could be in a Lifetime movie.
Yes, it really did. It really did. It really did.
There are some moments in this movie I'm like, I can't believe Hallmark is letting the characters be this sneaky.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so let's get into it.
All right, let's do it.
In the Mediterranean. Okay, so you guys, this has never come up before, I don't think, but you know how I love a good makeover movie and a makeover montage? In second place is a good twin movie.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
A good twin, mistaken identity, and there's all sorts of twin tropes. And so there's all sorts of twin tropes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so, they did mess up, and I'll get to that, because there is a special twin makeover montage that happens in all twin movies that they didn't do.
This movie did have a good montage at the end, though.
Yes. And I'm just going to already, for the most part, like, Actually, I liked this movie.
I did too, and I didn't think I was going to because right before the movie started, they played like a 15-second promo for it, and I wrote down the copy of the promo because it was so ridiculous. It said, Josh and Meg are falling in love, but Meg thinks Josh is his twin brother, Julian, who's married to Henry and speaks French.
Well, we may have some conflict on this because I thought this movie was kind of dumb.
Oh, super dumb, but I still like it.
No, it was dumb.
It's
No, it was
incredibly
dumb, but I still liked it.
Well, I don't know.
Once again, Josh and Meg are falling in love, but Meg thinks Josh is his twin brother Julian, who's married to Henry and speaks French. Super dumb.
Yeah, Meg's.
First of all,
I want to skip ahead.
Now, okay, so we start out. We're in Alaska. We've never been to Alaska before.
Haven't we? I feel like we may have been.
So
maybe not.
We're in a diner in Alaska, and there's a cook, and he whips out this, and I put an ugly-looking dessert. An ugly-looking dessert, but it turned out to be a baked Alaska.
Yeah.
And so he got chastised because the boss is like, why are you making fancy stuff like that? Stick to regular food. We are a diner in Alaska, for Christ's sake.
He gets shamed for trying.
Yes. And then we cut to a fancy restaurant, and this guy is talking to his daughter, Meg, and Meg is talking about how she is flying to Malta for a cooking contest. And I was like, oh my gosh, Malta, that's a real country. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've ever, well, I think there's only like one other time that we've actually gone to a real legitimate country.
I think that, no, we've done it a few times. It's usually with like Lacey Chabert, and it seems like the only times they do it is when they actually have the budget to film there.
And this was a pretty decent budgeted movie.
Yeah, this looked like it probably was filmed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so...
but it didn't make me want to go to Malta. And I know from watching Lacey Chabert when she went to Bruges. I wanted to go to Bruges. I still want to go to Bruges. But this didn't make me want to go to Malta.
Right. Because, see, I thought I wanted to go.
It looked really pretty anytime they would walk around that like little city part with all the
touristy
gondolas and stuff. Yeah, a little bit.
Right. Oh yeah.
Touristy to me. So yeah.
But they probably got incentives to film there to show the country off to get people to travel again.
Right.
So they want to show off the touristy stuff.
So the dad and the daughter are talking. The dad is being patronizing to the daughter, and he wants her to come working. He wants her to work for his company, and she's like, no, she wanted to do her own thing and build her own empire. This is
a trope I've noticed now in Hallmark movies. Like event planning is like the dream.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We've had so many event planners, wedding planners, and
yeah.
I think it's sort of the catch-all for you want a job that, you want to show a woman that's empowered in her job, that's both creative, but also provides logistics because women are badasses and they can do it all.
Right, because it is International Women's Day.
Yes.
So
congrats.
Well, it wasn't when they made the movie.
But maybe they knew that we'd be recording this 2 weeks after the movie aired.
And I watched it today, so I watched it on International Women's Day.
All right.
So then the chef walks out, and he is Josh's twin, Julian. Mm-hmm. And Julian is a dick. He's a total dick.
Yeah,
actually.
He was a bitch. Of course, they made him the gay one. The bitchy guy is the gay character.
Okay, but they were not wrong. They were not wrong.
True.
So he's talking to her dad, but he's being like a dick to her though. With like, and he's like mansplaining to her.
It's rude.
He's talking dad where he's mansplaining to her. And the dad, and I was like, okay, that's ballsy to do it in front of her dad. And the dad just like let it happen.
Well, he doesn't seem to like her.
The dad or Julian?
No, I guess he does. I should say.
Well, no, the dad was kind of condescending to her throughout most of the movie, and I also thought it was funny that like her whole identity in this movie is, you know, I'm smart and capable. I want to do this on my own without my dad's help. Yet she's hosting her first big event at her dad's hotel.
Right.
Yeah. What a way to separate herself.
Yeah,
I know, right? So then
and the dad has such lack of interest. He won't even step out of the hotel to see what she's up to.
Right.
He does once.
Well, sorta.
He looks out the window a couple times.
So then Julian then the next scene calls his brother Josh, his twin.
Mm-hmm.
And so Julian invites Josh to come with him to Malta. Josh is like, I don't want to go. Julian then like yells at him like, why are you still in Alaska? You should be doing other things. You always pass up offers. You need better for yourself. And then Josh said that he wanted to stay at the restaurant, and the restaurant used to belong to their parents, who are now dead.
Yeah.
I see dead people.
Plus, Alaska is a really cheap place to live, by understanding.
Right. And
So maybe that's the reason.
So I guess the parents used to own the diner. They sold, like they died. He sold it, but he's still working there.
Yeah.
And so then,
do they ever explain why? Like, I understood why he stayed there, but do they ever explain like why he sold it in the first place? Why he was? I didn't really get why it seemed like his life wasn't together.
They didn't explain why they didn't explain, I don't think, why they sold it. But he actually, I guess it turns out that Josh actually did have a lot of opportunities, like going to cooking school on a scholarship and all this stuff that he just chose not to do. He just chose to stay there.
And that's fine, but it does make sense why he would sell. Like, I get why he stayed. I just don't get why they felt like they needed this other weird reasoning of like he doesn't own the restaurant, he's working for someone else.
Well, but then his goal was to buy it back.
Oh, okay.
But why? He already owned it.
Right. But
So he sold it so that he could work there as a chef, like a short order chef. And he's going to save up to buy the place back. Well, that's ambitious.
Wait, wait,
I think it's
why
cheap
are
to
you?
live in Alaska.
Why are you buying it back? You owned it. You see what I'm saying?
Look,
no, I get it.
It's
No,
like,
no, I
I'm
totally
wearing
get it.
this shirt now. I would like to sell it so that I can one day buy it again. It doesn't make any sense.
Listen, I've got my own life to get together. I can't entertain this. So we have to move on. We just have to.
So then we meet Julian's husband. We meet Julian's husband, Henry. Now, did you guys notice throughout this whole movie, they never once said the word gay?
I noticed that.
They either said Julian is married or Julian. Wait, actually, they didn't even say he had a husband. They would just say, well, Julian's married.
I think they said husband once, but I definitely made note of the fact that they didn't say the word gay. Because there was one opportunity later in the movie where one of the characters says to what she thinks is Julian, something like, the one thing keeping us apart or keeping us from ever being a couple is the fact that you're happily married.
Right.
And I'm like, well, maybe it's because he's gay.
And well, Hallmark wasn't fooling me. I figured out they were gay.
Well, and so he's married to Henry. I liked Henry.
I did
Henry
too.
was nice.
Yeah.
And so Julian was like the bitchy one, and Henry was like the nice one.
Henry wasn't that nice either, though.
Pardon?
Henry was more level-headed than Julian, but Henry was kind of a dick sometimes too.
Well,
he was kind of bitchy with Josh.
I think with Henry, though, Henry was a dick when he had to be. as opposed to Julian, who was just a dick.
Okay.
And also, I think to be married to someone like Julian, you probably had to like be a dick, not necessarily a dick, but a dick who isn't going to put up with shit from.
I know what you're talking about. I would
partner.
Keep saying the word dick less.
As a grounded dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, they did not make that dish in the movie.
I'll have the grounded dick and a side order of asparagus
with black diamond truffles.
So then Josh ends up going to Malta. And so
you should go to Bruges.
Josh arrives in Malta. He bumps into Meg, who his brother had been a dick to the night before, a couple of days before, and he was really nice to Meg, and Meg back that he was really nice to her because she didn't realize that Josh wasn't Julian. Mm-hmm. And then the brothers meet up, and then meanwhile, Mrs. Mueller, who I guess is Meg's boss, is like looking around at the event and being like a bitch to Meg, like, I'm going to be watching you.
Oh, that's that older grumpy lady?
Yeah, she's the one that actually runs the organization that's putting on the culinary competition that hired Meg to do the event.
Yeah, she was unlikable.
So then later we're in the hotel room with Julian and Henry. And I forgot to mention that when Julian and Josh first bumped into each other, Julian totally outfit shamed Josh because Josh was like scruffy, was kind of lumberjack looking. Like,
I mean, they do that in every Hallmark movie where they want to have this straight guy that like is rugged yet kind. It's like, tucked in flannel shirt, maybe a baseball cap. But
then again, he lived in Alaska.
Yeah.
So, and I've been to Alaska, and that's pretty much what people wear in Alaska.
Yeah, I'm not shaming it. You look cute.
It's cold.
And so then we see Josh then comes into the room and he's actually like shaved. But
did you notice that right before that? Okay, so there's a scene where the husband Henry is telling Julian that he should wear a green tie. You see that?
Yeah.
They say it's a green tie. So then like there's this kind of like a flirtatious scene. And Julian's like, and it's like, so Henry says, it's good with your eyes. And Julian's like, oh, I love that you know that. And I noticed Henry just started marching over to have his way with Julian. I mean, it was like,
no.
Oh, that's what I saw.
Okay.
Wow.
There was chum in the water. He was and then they get
he was going to give Julian some grounded dick.
I'm telling you, some grounded dick. He was marching over to make things happen, and then Josh came in. I thought that was a very brave moment for Hallmark but then Josh came in, cock blocked the situation.
Well,
but
you know what?
Later.
Like I said, and I'm just making this up. I think Hallmark sent out that memo. Listen, we need to get it together. We need to get current. We need to get competitive with Lifetime because, after all, Lifetime used our trope and out-Hallmarked us with their other gay movie with Fran Drescher. So we need to get it together.
That memo must have been in all caps. This is
because I'm still impressed with the fact that Lifetime in that movie with Fran Drescher out Hallmark using their tropes.
Oh yeah. I feel like this movie, they really spread their wings. Maybe that's too nice of a compliment, but I was going to say spread their wings creatively. I do feel like they were taking more risks in terms of the way they were letting the story play out than they would normally take.
Right.
Like we didn't have all the same cookie cutter characters that we normally have.
Right. No, I totally agree.
And they were allowing the villains to be the bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Julian is outfit shaming Josh. And so he's like, listen, I'm going to go get you an outfit. And he trips over his suitcase and hurts his back.
Oh, that's karma.
And so it was karma because he was being a dick to Josh. And Josh was like being like, oh, poor Josh. Leave Josh alone. And so Julian hurts his back. But he needed to go and register for the competition, and there was like a time limit to go register. So Julian is like, listen, I need to get downstairs and register. And Josh is like, oh no, Julian's like, listen, Josh, why don't you just pretend to be me and go sign up for the contest? And then, of course, Josh is like, I don't want to do that. And Julian is like, oh, just go down there, smile. And Julian, like, threw out a lot of French. I guess Julian spoke fluent French. So Julian is like, just go down there, smile, speak a little French. You'll be fine.
Well, that's dumb. There's no other option besides this ridiculous scheme.
What I think is hilarious about this is it's a pretty innocuous thing for him to do in this moment. It's like, hey, I'll just go down there as you, and I'm just signing you in. I look like you, no big deal. But then they make it so absurd with the way that is executed in the movie. Because he goes down and they have a microchipped bracelet that he has to wear the entire time he's there, like he's in prison. What the hell is that?
It's not getting away with this one.
Because the microbes, they had so he went down, he signed up, and the microchip bracelet was to make sure that you don't cheat. But actually, I liked that idea. I
take it off.
liked it.
They fine, but then he kept hanging out with the woman that was producing the event, and he had access to the kitchen at the hotel and all these other caveats. And it's like, well, was it really protecting anything?
No.
Right. See, and what I learned from that is if you're the gay guy and you're nice, you can get all sorts of things. Because he was basically just being nice. He was nice to her, so she was like giving him access to all this
Oh, that's
stuff.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because he was nice to her.
Yeah.
All right.
And so then Josh signs the contract. And he was talking to Meg, who thinks that he's Julian, but once again, he was kind of throwing her off because he was really nice to her when Julian was not. And so he signs the contract, and he just signed it J, whatever their last name was.
Northrup. Yeah, which was also the name of Julian's restaurant. It was called J. Northrup, and that's their initial and last name, and that's how he signed.
Right. And that's when he got the wristband that he couldn't take off.
They said that it was to cut down kitchen espionage. What the fuck does that mean?
Kitchen espionage. Is that what they said in the movie?
Yes, they actually used those words.
Kitchen espionage.
My dad was a chef for most of my time growing up, and I don't remember him ever fighting crime.
Right.
Well, there was a big, in the opening scene of Leonard Part 6, there's a huge kitchen espionage scene. There's a big spy scene in the kitchen. I know it's probably a problematic movie to bring up today, but we had to.
Right. You bring up that movie on International Women's Day.
Sorry.
Once again, congratulations, women.
So then, okay.
Okay.
So then Josh goes back upstairs, breaks the bad news that holy shit, I have this chip, we can't take it off, because Meg told him even if you take it off, we'll know, and if you take it off, you're disqualified. So then Josh was like, well, why don't I just pretend to be you? And Julian, once again, is being a dick and like, you can't cook as well as I can, and you're not gonna win. And they start arguing, but then Henry breaks it up, and Henry's like, listen, we need to do this because we need to win, because you don't know this, but our business is going under, and so we need the prize money to save our business.
Yeah.
And so then Julian is like, okay, since you're just a cook and I'm a chef, you pretend to be me, but I'm going to train you to cook like a chef, not like a cook.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where they dropped the ball for me. So, you know how I like a good makeover montage?
Mm-hmm.
The other montage I like is the one twin training the other twin to be them montage.
That is true. They absolutely missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, they could have done that.
Right. And it's like and part of the twin training the other twin is a makeover montage within a montage.
It's
But
frankly
would
a
that be
double
problematic
montage
in this movie, though, because like the one, the straight twin was obviously like more butch than Julian. So would Julian have to be teaching Josh like his mannerisms and things like that? That'd be a little weird.
Yes.
You think?
No, but
that'd be all right.
no, it's an identity swap.
All right.
So no, that would be totally right.
In fact, it's way less offensive if you teach your twin how to be like you than if your twin just like starts acting all bitchy and queenie.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, I'm not like that.
Right.
Yeah. But what I did like, which was actually very realistic and good, was Henry was going to pretty much be around just to make sure everything was going all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because Henry was the sous chef. And so then we're at the event again. Henry and Josh go to the event and they run to Meg and she asks him something that Julian was supposed to know. And Henry actually helps Josh out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Meg introduces him to the other competitors. And here we meet Etienne, which I guess is one of the villains.
Yeah.
And
French guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Etienne. But then we find out that Etienne and Julian went to cooking school together, which is like an oh shit. So they've known each other for many, many years.
Okay.
And then they're talking, and then Meg is like, well, you and Etienne went to school together. Why don't you tell us a story? And then Josh is like, because he didn't know anything. Mm-hmm. And so then Henry kind of jumps in. Henry jumps in and like saves the day. And then Meg, thinking that Josh is Julian, her gay bestie, calls him over to talk to him alone. And Henry tries to stop it, but he can't. And so the only reason that she was calling him over was because she just wanted his opinion on how the room looked. And the reason why she wanted his opinion was she's like, well, you're normally brutally honest, so I want your opinion on this. And then that's where we find out that Meg's passion is event planning. And she needs this to go well because if this goes well, this will prove to her father that she knows what she's doing. But then, this is where she drops the bomb. Oh, but my dad owns the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're probably getting the space for free because my dad owns it.
Yeah, we didn't mention earlier in the movie when she was having dinner with her dad that her dad just casually drops that he's trying to buy some castle to turn it into a hotel.
Right. Right.
See, I agree the movie's dumb, Kurt.
What's that?
I agree that the movie's dumb.
Okay.
Trying to buy a
castle. I was
castle.
gonna say, I wrote this is really dumb in my notes.
It is.
So then
I still liked it.
So then Meg is like, So Meg is like, Julian, I just don't get you. It's like you're two different people.
Yeah. And she's like, she also said earlier, unless you have an evil twin.
Right.
Come on.
Which he did. Julian was kind of evil.
In comparison, yeah.
Evil? He's a demon. He burst up from a hole from hell.
So this next part, actually though, I got to give this movie credit because they actually took care of some details that Hallmark movies usually skip. Like Josh, so the chefs are practicing and Josh asks Meg, hey, would it be okay if I practiced in private? So then that way he could go get Julian to train him. So I thought that was like a detail that normally the Hallmark movie would have skipped.
Yeah.
But that's an important detail.
I don't know enough about culinary contests. Don't you normally practice in private anyway, though?
I think, though, since they're at a hotel, though, they probably didn't.
Oh, so they probably had like a lot of time at the hotel kitchen or whatever. Okay, that makes sense.
And you wouldn't have the utensils and stuff like that you need.
That's true.
In your hotel room. So this is where you practice because then you have everything you need.
Yeah.
So then they go back to the crowd, and then there's this loud British guy that looked like my husband's cousin Simon. My husband is British, for those of you who don't know. And this guy looked exactly like my husband's cousin Simon.
Maybe it was
who
him.
I don't like.
I hope Simon's not listening.
Oh, I hope he is listening.
Me too. We welcome all listeners.
Yeah, take that, Simon.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening.
Yeah.
I have a good reason.
Be sure to give us 5 stars.
I have a good reason for not liking Simon.
Oh, yeah? You want to get into it now, or should this be a private thing?
Okay. Actually, I talk about it in one of my shows.
Oh, spilling the tea on Simon. A new segment. Here's Les Kirkendall Barrett.
So we were visiting England, and we were staying with Simon and his husband in London. So we decide to take a day trip down to Brighton, which is like 2 hours away. So we go to Brighton, and Simon and his husband have a huge fight, and Simon leaves us in Brighton and goes back to London and ditched us in another city 2 hours away. That's why I don't like Simon.
The irony is, though, if the tables were turned and you had done that to him, he could hear about what he had done to you by listening to our podcast on the way back.
Right? See?
On that long trip.
Yeah.
See? And it was one of these like, no, he didn't leave. And especially since it was the fight between him and his husband, and my husband and I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
He took it out on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys were left behind. That's a pisser.
Yeah. So we ended up having to take the train.
I would shame him on a podcast too if he did that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who could I shame? I'm trying to think. I'll have to think about that.
But now this British guy, his name was Chester.
Chester. Yeah, an old, bald, drunk. It's okay that he's old, bald, and drunk.
I thought for sure that Chester and the woman that was running the contest, I thought we were going to find out that they had a history together or that they were secretly in love with each other. We never got either of those things.
Yeah, because she was pissed at him.
Yeah.
She was very pissed off at him.
Yeah, they had very, very tense interactions in the movie.
Yeah. I said, I see an oldie romance on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Because Chester and Josh knew
Didn't happen.
Chester and Julian knew each other, and then the woman comes up and is like, Mrs. Mueller's like, Chester, why are you even here? Get out of here, and kicks him out.
It really was funny.
Get out.
But it's because he beat her, didn't he? He beat her. Not physically, but he beat her in a cooking contest.
In this very contest years ago.
Yeah. And so she's so mad now. She's still mad. She's like you, Les. She's like holding a grudge against Simon.
She's holding a grudge against him for beating her.
Simon.
But she's the one running the contest, and his restaurant just went out of business. So there's a lot going on here.
Oh man, maybe I do like this movie. I'm starting to enjoy the layers.
Well, the layers, and also Kurt, so many mentions of things like baked Alaska.
Yeah,
there's some stuff like that. Yeah, I was checking that out.
There were a lot of desserts in this movie, Kurt. That's why I'm surprised that you didn't like it. Like a lot of desserts.
What is baked Alaska again?
I can't
remember.
I believe it's a cake where there's but you bake it at certain temperature in a certain way so that the ice cream stays relatively solid inside, even though you baked it.
Okay, I have to check that out.
I believe that's what
may have had it. That's not something you see on like diner menus too much.
No, because it's super. It's like getting a souffle.
Yeah.
Like you have to like know ahead of time that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I probably have had it, but not recently. So. But coming up is one of the dumbest scenes in the movie. So
because so Chester first was like, Julian, why are you being weird?
Right.
But then Chester later then goes up to the room and Chester catches them, the twins.
Yeah. Now let me just explain this because this is so dumb. Now the plot couldn't be more simple. And yet there's like a transition, like a fade. It's as if like hours have gone by of them explaining it. And Chester's sitting there saying, now let me get this straight. Really? This is not it's not infinite jest, for God's sake, Chester. You can figure this one out.
Maybe Chester wasn't confused by what the brothers were doing with their switcheroo. Maybe he was like, he couldn't wrap his head around the fact that one twin is gay and one isn't, yet they're identical.
Right. That's what it was? Now let me get this straight. You're gay and you're straight and you're playing each other. Oh, this one's a bummer. Whatever. What's an English word to say? This one's a
This is cockamamie.
Cracker. This one's a cockamamie.
A cockamamie.
This was a real cockamamie, isn't it?
You would probably say this one's all bollock stuff.
This was bollocks.
This is not a grounded dick.
This is not a grounded dick, is it? There you go. That sounds a little more British. I'm all over the place with this accent.
Oh, so then they go to Chester's closed down restaurant.
That's depressing.
And Julian is dressed like Josh at this point. And Chester's telling them that his restaurant went out of business. And didn't Chester not have anywhere to live, or Chester was like...
It's funny now that you say that. I hadn't really thought of it, but later in the movie, he's offered that he could stay in the hotel for free, and he jumps in the chair. So was Chester homeless?
Yeah.
Let me get my stuff from behind the bush.
Because that's why I'm thinking that. Because later part of the deal is like, Chester, if you do this for me, you can live in this hotel forever. And that's what was said. You can live in this hotel forever.
Technically, I already do. I sleep in the lobby.
So then
I just like the fact that in a Hallmark movie we were actively seeing deception. I don't think we've ever seen that in a Hallmark movie before. And
I was here for every minute of it.
Chester, now I think about it, he's like one of those people who should be a very sad case, but he's just kind of happy-go-lucky, Like everything is like falling apart around him. He's like, oh, good two shoes.
He was drunk.
Yeah. I'm drunk. Yeah, that's a problem. That's deeply sad when you think about it.
But Jason, you're absolutely right, because in this movie there was lying and they didn't feel bad about it. There was like eavesdropping and snooping, and they didn't feel bad about it.
They literally commit what I'm assuming is a felony.
I guess.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah,
there's something like pretty big that happens crime-wise. It was just like played for laughs. It was cute.
Yeah.
This movie is a sociopathic hellscape.
No, this is
that's why they're wearing wristbands.
This is Hallmark saying, I'll teach you to make fun of our movies. You get ready.
Yeah.
Buckle up, old ladies, because we're changing around here.
Someone will have a heart attack watching this movie.
Oh, so then back at the event. So they go back at the event. Meg is telling Josh, like, I planned my first event at 16. And then she's asking Josh about his past, and he tells the story that about how the real Josh got a scholarship but chose not to go. And then Meg was like, when I first met you, I thought you were a jerk. But now you're nice. And so then we see Josh, and he's training with Henry, Julian, and Chester. And so I guess the contest was kind of like, what's that Master Chef, or what was that contest where that reality show, or one of those where they provide the ingredients and you have to basically make something out of the ingredients that you get.
Yeah, I know you're like not Samurai Kitchen. It's
It exists though.
But isn't there like a samurai involved somehow?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, go.
Yeah.
And so one day it's like, your ingredient is peanut butter, and then you got to just like make elaborate things out of
it's like
peanut
there's
butter.
one thing, and then you have a whole bunch of other ingredients that you can or don't have to use, but using whatever ingredients you have available plus the secret ingredient, you have to make a dish.
Speaking of that, I just looked up what a baked Alaska is. Yeah, this thing is. I definitely eat this. It's like an ice cream thing with meringue around it. That would be a tough thing to make, because meringue is. I've tried to make my own meringue. I've not succeeded.
I do like meringue.
And it's like a little cake. There's like a chocolate wafer cake in there. There's raspberry. There's fruit in here involved in it too. And so it's kind of like a cake in the bottom. There's ice cream on top, and there's the meringue all around it.
Okay, that does sound really good.
So it's like a Fudgy the Whale Carvel cake, but with meringue on top.
Yeah, because the Carvel people can't pull off the meringue. If they could, then they would. Then Carvel would be a five-star restaurant.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
so then
Carvel.
So we find out as like part of the contest like they supply all of the ingredients, but they already knew ahead of time what they were going to be cooking. So basically, they were just going to rehearse, like, just cooking the dishes that they had to cook. And then we find out that Mrs. Mueller does not like funky. She does not like thinking out of the box. You've got to make traditional food. And that is it.
She doesn't like funky.
She might. I don't know about that. In slight defense of her, I don't think it was her that necessarily didn't like it. I think they were saying that as a general rule, the committee judging this always goes for really traditional.
Right. So then, and one thing that we forgot to mention is that Meg was talking to Josh earlier in the movie and telling him how she was addicted to chocolate. And how like she bought like a suitcase like just full of chocolate. I can see you doing that, Kurt.
Well, this next scene opens up.
No.
It opens up, and she's literally running after a cart for some chocolate. And I wrote in my notes, she is Kurt.
Yeah.
No, but I would not pack a suitcase of chocolate because I don't want to pay for the extra suitcase. So I try to just bring a carry-on.
Of chocolate. I can see you bringing a carry-on of chocolate.
You buy it at duty free.
What's that?
Buy it at duty free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. I'd like some chocolate. I'll tell you what I'm jonesing for. Easter's coming. They got those Cadbury eggs out there. I bought a box of 5, and I've been thinking about it for the last hour. I think when this show is over, I'm going to get that
Cadbury eggs.
I'm just as bad as that woman. This Meg woman and I might be soulmates.
See?
I have a major sweet tooth, but I've never liked Cadbury eggs. They are too sweet for me.
No, I like them.
Do you like Peeps?
No.
Nope.
Not particularly. No.
I didn't know this until after I was living in California that they make Peeps were made by the company in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, like right near where I grew up.
Oh, like your hometown.
Yeah, basically. Had no idea they were made there until I left there.
No,
I like chocolate bunnies.
Desperate. Chocolate bunnies, yeah, they're good.
I like chocolate bunnies, and I like to eat the ears off first.
Yeah. But it's always disappointing because they're hollow, and you never think it's going to be hollow. You should know better by now, but you always think, oh, there's going to be something in there. There never is.
Right.
I like to bite the eye off like a cruel masochist. Because the eye, it's like not chocolate. It's like a little hard, like white candy. And you blind the bunny.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It can't see you as you bite the rest of it off.
And now I'm craving dots. Remember those little dots of sugar on the paper? Yeah.
When I was a kid, we used to get candy cigarettes.
Yeah.
You used to get those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those.
And then all the tobacco executives acted all surprised when they were being called out for marketing to kids.
Yeah. I think they were gum, weren't they?
They had gum and they had chocolate ones. I've had both.
Yeah.
The gum ones were good.
The cigars.
I've never had the cigars, but I remember the chocolate cigarettes versus the candy. The chocolate actually was pretty good. I enjoyed it. The gum was disgusting, but I liked the gum ones because it actually looked like you were blowing smoke because of like whatever powder was on the gum, so it wouldn't stick to the wax paper.
Oh my God. That is, now that I think back on that though, that is pretty horrible. Get these cigarettes and they'll turn into gum and you can blow smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So
they also had those straws.
Fun.
They also had the straw. They put these other straws with it was flavored sugar. And you could take the straw and sniff it like you're doing Coke.
Yeah.
Oh, like pixie sticks?
Oh, pixie sticks. Yeah.
I
They're
used to
called
love
pixie
pixie
sticks?
sticks.
Yeah.
Do they still have those?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
There would be no reason why they wouldn't have flavored sugar still today. So
I used to love pixie sticks.
I kind of did too.
I love it. A candy rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so
I like that you called it a
Josh-
rabbit hole when we were talking about Easter. Okay, continue.
right there you go. So Josh,
Marvel egg, man.
So Josh sees Meg running for the cart that she missed, and Josh is like, "Why are you running for the cart when you could just go to your dad's hotel and use the kitchen?"
Yeah, they probably have chocolate there.
Right. And so then Meg and Josh are talking. They're talking about being lonely.
It's sad.
And they were talking about Alaska, and Josh was like saying how he preferred the bears, like being around bears than people or something. And Meg was like, I do too. And then
But isn't a bear? Doesn't that have different meanings?
Yeah, I know.
yes, yes, it does.
Ironically, that Josh as Julian is talking about bears and doesn't bring it up.
Right. I prefer a bear every now and then too.
Arr.
So then Josh is asking Meg if she had a boyfriend, and she did. And this is another. Yes, she did.
Yeah, she talks about it. And she said she
Yeah.
hasn't for a
she
while,
has.
but she's talking about the last guy she was with.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the last boyfriend. Yeah.
Because she found out that he was lying about having a job.
Yeah. Well, the way they set it up, I thought, oh my God, they're going to like actually talk about him cheating. Because she's like,
Right.
I broke up with him because he was lying to me. And it's like, oh, are they going to dance around the cheating? And then she starts to tell him more. It's like, oh, they're going to say it. And then she's like, he lied to me. He quit his job so he could stay home and play video games. I'm like, come on, Hallmark.
What was
Right.
going on now? So he told her he had a job, but he was actually home playing video games?
Yes.
He
So
quit his
pretty much-
job.
He quit his job. So I'm like, this guy's a
Quit his
loser.
job
Yeah.
to go home to stay home and play video games. All right.
Yeah. So I'm like, this guy's a loser, man. He quit his job to play video games. But then I'm sure,
But
even though she
maybe that
wanted
was
to
on-
be,
Twitch, where he's playing video games, he's making money at it.
Yeah.
I'm sure though, even though she wanted to be independent, she was probably living in one of Daddy's penthouses.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So he didn't, like, the guy didn't need money, or she had like an allowance anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not condoning him quitting his job and playing video games, because that's just loser behavior. But I could see how he could do it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then, okay, so then this is something that I actually agree with.
Me too.
And they're right. she was talking about he failed the 2-month test.
The ex did.
And the ex failed a 2-month test, which is if you're pissed about something, like in your relationship or with your ex, if you can't get over that in 2 months, you're never getting over it. And I'm like, she's absolutely right.
Interesting.
And that's not to say forgive them, just getting over the hurt or anger that it caused you.
Yeah, she was absolutely. And I don't think I've ever seen a Hallmark movie do this, or very rarely when I was like, oh my God, that actually makes sense. And they are absolutely right about this.
There is clearly a development exec at Hallmark going through therapy.
Right. So then we see, Julian is like itching to get out. He's bored. He's a control freak as well. And so Henry catches Julian in a suit getting ready to go downstairs. And Henry's like, what the hell are you doing? You can't do this, idiot, or people will see that you're a twin. And so then Meg and Josh are still talking. Meg has been talking about making her own success. And then Josh, as Julian, makes a move. But then he realizes mid-move, he's making the move and realizes mid-move, oh shit, I'm supposed to be gay. So then he hugs her.
No, he hugged her.
Yeah.
He hugged her to distract her because Henry and real Julian were walking outside. He didn't want her to see him. Yeah, like he went in to hug her because he sees them out of the corner of his eye, and he's like, "Get away, get away."
And they still never say the word. They still never say the word gay. They're like, "Oh well, he's happily married." Yeah. So does happily married mean he's gay?
She says she wishes she could meet someone like Julian, except for the fact that he's happily married.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, well, if we throw happily in there, then the audience will know that we mean gay. Because gay means happy. So, well, what were you gonna say?
No, it's all very strange. No, it's just strange. It's maybe it's a little bit. It's also a little subversive. That I don't know if that's the right word, but that she's clearly showing interest towards a guy who's gay and married, but she's just like hopelessly having this attraction.
Yeah, I mean, the
unrequited love.
What I actually liked about that dynamic in this movie is that it forced the central romance of the movie, which is between Josh and Meg. It forced it to the back burner and didn't move it at an insanely clip pace like they normally do. Like, these movies are all, over the course of 2 weeks, they fall so in love with the person that they know they want to spend the rest of their life with them. And this movie, the characters actually couldn't go there.
Right.
Yeah. Stunted.
Mm-hmm. So then so then the contest starts, and her dad is trying to get her to go with him on like a trip, and she's like, Dad, I've got a contest to run. And he just kind of blows her off.
Uh-huh.
And so and she's really upset about it. Like she's really hurt by it. And so then Josh notices that she's sad. He goes over to console her. She then once again says, my dad doesn't take me seriously. And then Josh is like, well, my dad didn't believe in me either. And he believed in my brother more, He's like, but you got to find your own swagger. You got to find your own swagger and believe in yourself. And then you'll be fine. So,
and they hug again.
So here's the thing. The contest starts, the prize money was 250 euros, which in the scheme of things, that didn't sound like a lot of money to me.
It was 250,000.
250,000 euros. I'm going to do the math.
Why does that not sound like a lot?
And what is that in U.S. money right now?
It didn't sound like enough money to save a failing restaurant
Euro to dollar.
in New York.
Ooh. Hold on.
What is it?
I'm going to convert it right now.
This is going to be dated by the time this episode drops.
I know. I'm trying to see. So euro, 250,000. Let's see. Oh, you do pretty well. Euro, 250,000 as of March 9th, 2021. 250,000 euros is $295,312.50 United States dollars.
Which, I mean, no, and it sounds good for like you and I, but it just didn't sound like enough to save a failing restaurant in New York.
Maybe not, but I mean, it's not like they're building the restaurant from scratch. Like a few $100,000 is going to help you get caught up on some bills and maybe focus on some things to market the place and maybe get people in now.
Okay. No, okay. I can buy that. I can totally buy that. So then we have a cooking montage.
Yeah, I refer to it as a competitively making food montage. Because it was like everything was like, on a clock, and they were cutting through all the different cooks that were making things, and it was very fast edited. I liked it.
Okay, so then Josh and Henry go back to the room, and Julian is just being an absolute dick. This guy is a total dick. Because he starts yelling at Josh, you were chopping, not dicing. And then they have a fight, and I wrote here, Josh reads him for filth.
Reads him for filth?
It really does tell him off.
Yeah.
He calls him out for being a pseudo-socialite.
Yeah. And he just, he tells him off and then leaves.
Yeah.
And so then they're at a little cocktail party waiting for the results of the contest. And I loved the fact that this contest was very diverse. I was like, well, they even have someone from the Philippines. Mm-hmm. I'm like, they're really diversifying. And made it a point to be like, from the Philippines, we have this guy. So I'm like, wow, they're just, good for you, that's Hallmark. So then Henry, though, pulls Josh aside and is like, listen, you're getting way too close to Meg and you need to cool it. Mm-hmm. Which he was not wrong. But then, so then Meg starts freaking out because the truffles haven't shown up yet.
Yeah, and they mentioned earlier in the movie, I don't know if we mentioned this, that's going to be like one of the secret ingredients for the final round, and it's like $900 a pound. So these are really rare truffles that they were going to be using. They're not coming now.
So then Josh said, I can help. And then the next scene, Chester was helping them, and it looked like they were having a drug deal.
They were buying black market truffles.
Well,
there's no way that was, if these things are $900 a pound and they're getting imported from like millions of miles away, like clearly they are buying these things on the black market, and Hallmark is like, we'll use Chester to get him. He's homeless.
It was funny though, because the guy was sitting on a bench. He was wearing a trench coat. Like, it totally looked like a drug deal going down.
It was.
Well, that's probably why, because that's probably what happened to the original truffles. They got stolen, and now the same truffles are being sold back to them.
They're probably paying a ransom for their own truffles.
Right. And then this is when, because since Chester saved her ass, this is when she's like, Chester, you can live in this hotel forever for free.
Nice.
Again, I don't want anything to do with my dad, but you can live here in his property.
Have a nice life, Chester. You enjoy living in this 5-star hotel in Malta. Have a great
Chester.
time.
What did he say? He must have said yes to that, right?
Yeah, he did, right in the moment.
Yeah, he did.
I'm taking
he
that.
Immediately said yes.
Yeah. Good.
Chester was no fool. Chester's like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Meg,
like
could you help me out?
Marvel,
The storage unit.
Marvel has
What's that?
expanded the universe with WandaVision. I want Hallmark to expand the Mixed Up in the Mediterranean universe with a sitcom just centered around Chester living in that hotel.
Right?
That's gonna be great. He's
Right.
not moving out.
Because, Chester would be barking orders, sleeping with the help, drinking, because Chester always had like a cocktail in his hand.
Reading up on squatters' rights,
Right?
just in case
no.
they ask him to leave.
Well, no, this was a handshake deal. This was
Well,
a
just in
handshake
case
deal.
something. Yeah, but what if ownership changes? Then he needs to be ready with his squatter rights.
And does she have authority to make that deal?
Right? This is true.
Yeah, he's got to get himself in. Once he's in and he's got a key, then he's got the
isn't
rights
it
to
though-
leave.
Isn't it though, in California law is if you're staying somewhere and you get mail, then you are automatically considered a tenant there.
Oh, Chester's getting the mail. He's sending himself a letter before he gets in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Malta rules are, but I bet they're pretty liberal.
Oh. So then we see Henry's getting ready to go shopping. Julian wants to come. Henry's like, no.
Mm-mm.
And then we see Jacob and Megan. They're like, well, what's your favorite food? And she's like, takeout. And then we find out that her favorite food is cheeseburgers. Mm-hmm. And then she gives the reason why she likes cheeseburgers. You see, when her mother died,
I see dead people.
She
Her
choked on a
dad-
cheeseburger.
her dad would take her out for cheeseburgers all the time, and that would make her feel
dad-
better.
So you're saying whenever her mother would die, she would get taken over cheeseburger?
This feels like the plot of a McDonald's commercial in the 80s.
Right?
Because they would do like
commercials.
different kinds of commercials. They would have ones that are aimed at families, ones that are aimed at teens, whatever, ones that are aimed at the little kids that want the Happy Meal toy. And this seems like one of those ones aimed at like grandparents to tug at their heartstrings of like, little girl is sad, dad comes in, he's like, come on, kid, let's go get a Big Mac.
Right.
Those are something else. Remember there was that one where it was like the sister and like growing up with his sister. It's like this epic story. They had like 5 actors playing the brother and sister. And it was like at the end, she's like the homecoming queen. And the daughter is homecoming queen, little sister. You know you're going to miss her. McDonald's and you. I think that was the song.
Yeah. But did she gather all the Infinity Stones? That's what you need to find out at the end of that saga.
Man. I guess they don't do those anymore.
So then Julian is pretending to be Josh, and he runs into Etienne, and he's
That guy was annoying.
He's talking to Etienne, and Etienne's talking shit. And he's talking shit. Etienne's talking shit about Josh, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Josh is telling Meg his favorite dessert is baked Alaska because his mother, who is also dead, used to like baked Alaska. Mm-hmm. And then
What's not to like?
Meg is like, well, maybe that's why you like to cook. And so then, so we have the truffles.
Yeah, Chester
And
shows
then-
up with a bag of truffles and probably some meth.
Chester's truffles. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, so then Henry and Jacob are talking, and Henry's like, oh, come on, Jacob. Julian's acting like a dick, but he really does look up to you, right? And then Henry is also telling Jacob, you need... Oh, who... Wasn't he telling both of them?
Well, it's
like
you keep saying Jacob. It's Josh.
Josh.
Josh is the straight one.
What?
Julian's the gay one.
Oh, why do I keep on saying
Yeah, I was
Jacob?
getting
I
confused.
don't know.
Jacob. I don't know, but I don't know. It was all blending together for me too.
That was this movie was originally going to be about triplets.
Oh man, that's a sequel. We find out they have a triplet.
Right. So Henry is like telling Julian. Oh, Henry gets mad and tells Julian, "Listen, you need to get your shit together and you need to be nicer to your brother because you're not going to be able to. One day, you're not going to see each other anymore. So you need to get your shit together." And so then Meg and Josh run into each other, and Meg asks Josh if he wants to go to eat. And meanwhile, Henry is telling Julian, you need to trust your brother because your brother actually is not doing a bad job at all. So you need to trust him. And so then Josh is teaching Meg to cook. And once again, he cops a feel.
Oh, yeah, this is very ghost-like.
He wraps himself around her like a clam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like, no gay man would ever grab a woman like that. Because he was all up. It was like Ghost. It was like Ghost in the pottery scene, but they were cooking.
That's what I said.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Don't steal his line.
Sorry.
Oh, so then they're talking, and Josh accidentally agrees to work with Meg. But then, because they agreed to go into business together, or like her event planning.
He kind of offhandedly said, like, "Oh, you should come run the events at my restaurant."
Yeah. And so then Meg goes up to the room later, and Julian answers the door.
Real Julian.
And the real Julian answers the door, and Meg is like talking like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that once this is over, we're actually going to work together." And Julian looks at her like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And gives her attitude.
It's like, I must have been talking out of my ass.
Right.
Because that's happening.
And then gives her stank face and looks at her like she's like gum on a shoe. And she's kind of like, oh, sorry. Like, uh-oh. And then she throws in, do we need to take 2 months?
Yeah, Julian has no idea what she means.
And yeah, Julian's like, what are you, Julian's just giving her a look, he's giving her the look like, will you just go? Please. And so, okay, so then we go back to the contest, right? Yeah. And then Josh is there, and Meg had just come from the room. So Meg is like, how'd you get here so fast? That's weird, because I was just talking to you. Yeah. And change your clothes. So then Josh goes in to check his ingredients.
Well, Josh tries to sign in with his bracelet first.
Right.
And then it won't work. He's like, that's weird. And they open up the fridge to check their ingredients, and all the power is out at his workstation. All the food has gone bad.
Right. Only at his workstation.
Yeah.
And they try to they insinuate that the Frenchman was responsible for this. Mm-hmm. I don't know, is the Frenchman so desperate to win that he sabotages their electric?
They insinuate it there, and somebody calls him out for it later too, is saying that we can't prove it, but we assume it's you.
Yeah, and he shuts up. He shuts up really quick, so it is him. Like, he did do it.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
So Josh starts flipping out because all of his food's spoiled. He and Meg go into the kitchen, and Meg is basically like, chill out, be confident, have swagger. We're going to figure this out. And they find like this expensive beef.
It's like Wagyu beef. I just thought it was funny though that the refrigerator in this giant hotel kitchen only had like 2 items in it.
Right. Yeah, it looked like a bachelor's refrigerator. Yeah. And so he ends up making high-end cheeseburgers with the truffles.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it looked good.
It looked really good, actually.
Yeah.
It was like a big, huge cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And even the old lady, the mean lady, like bit into it and liked it. And so because of this, Josh makes it to the finals. And so meanwhile, Meg's dad shows up. And her dad like really liked Julian's food, right? But Julian is actually not wanting to get caught. So Julian's hiding behind a bush and calling out to Josh. And Julian and Josh are talking, and Julian's like, listen, Josh, okay, this has happened long enough. I need to take over for the final because you're not going to win. And
this is a very Lifetime moment, too.
Right.
Because they show Etienne sees them talking and can apparently hear what they're saying, even though he's very, very far away from their whispering.
Okay, so I'm torn. I am torn about this. Let me explain. So, I originally gave Etienne a C- for eavesdropping because Etienne was eavesdropping on the conversation, but he was out in the open, and all they needed to do was just to turn their heads, and they would see him looking right at them. So Etienne was getting a C- for this, but
Okay.
I reluctantly had to raise his grade to a B- because he listened to the whole conversation and got blackmail material and did not get caught.
If I were grading this, I would start at the B- and go down to the C- because why the hell didn't he record it?
This is true, Jason. This is true. That's extra points. He's docked extra points for that.
Yeah.
I
he had a
also
phone.
add that it probably didn't make any difference if he did get caught. I mean, if they turned around and looked at him, he would have just laughed and ran away.
Yeah, but then they could, since this movie's about like Hallmark lying and they didn't care that they were lying, then they could have easily been like, this is your word against mine. Prove it.
Well,
I feel like if we're gonna go down that crime avenue in a Hallmark movie, they should have had Chester hire a hitman.
Which they, which I'm
Chester
sure
knows
Chester
one.
could.
Chester knows
because
several.
Chester knows. Oh, he knows some seedy people. He's spent several nights sleeping on the docks. He's met some people.
I love this movie. Lying, black market dealing, which is a felony.
Kitchen espionage.
Squatting.
Espionage, murder for hire.
We don't know what's going on with some of
Squatting,
these people. Yeah. Maybe Malta. We don't know much about Malta. Are there laws there? It doesn't look like it.
Maybe Kurt, are you coming around on Malta now?
It's a chaotic anarchy, or what's going on over there? I don't know if that makes me interested in going there. It still looks touristy.
Well, I'm sure they showed the touristy parts for the movie because I'm sure they had a deal with Tourism Malta or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Or whatever they call it.
Sure.
I'm sure they got some sort of deal like that. So then Etienne goes running to Meg and tells Meg, something's going on. And then
he can't explain himself.
Right. But then Meg shuts him up because this is when Meg's like, you know what? I think you were the one that sabotaged Julian's workstation. And Etienne shut up and got a weird look on his face and didn't say anything. So she was right. But I loved that Meg resorted to blackmail. Another blackmail. Mm-hmm. Lies, blackmail, black market activity, felonies.
Where is the adultery, for crying out loud? If they just had some,
they wrote it out in the script. It was, I think it was originally going to be Meg's ex-boyfriend cheated on her, but they wrote that out of the script.
Now, let's not get crazy. This is Hallmark. Adultery, come on.
Well, I'm getting greedy. I want it all.
It's like let's not get off the rails with adultery here.
Yeah. Selling things in the black market, we are totally okay with as a network, but someone cheating on a spouse, no. Bridge too far.
Don't do it. Oh, okay. So then Megan's dad is a total dick.
Yeah.
Because Megan's dad is like, hey, I'm going to this banquet. And didn't even ask her if she wanted to come. Like, I'm going to this banquet. and
He wasn't
like,
going to invite her.
And she's like, Dad, I have an event that I'm running that I've told you about like a million times. He just like,
oh, that's right.
Blew her off and left. He just left.
I invite you to the banquet, but you're a bit of a dish rag.
Isn't this where we also find? Yeah, isn't this also where we find out about why the dad wanted to eat at Julian's restaurant?
Yeah, he talked shit about Julian and then said, "Oh, well, the whole reason we went to that restaurant in the first place was because I want to buy it."
He just wants to buy the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to buy it and turn it into a water park.
Right. And so then, so the dad is like condescending to her and mansplaining and basically like, you know, little lady, you need to be part of my business anyway. I don't know why you're doing this event planning stuff. Time for you to grow up and work for me, you know? So then Etienne was not done yet. So he picks up the phone and makes a call. So, you know, I hate Etienne. So then Meg is sad. Josh goes to talk to her. And Meg and Josh are commiserating. You know, Meg is like, it looks like we lost our swagger. And then Josh... Why did Josh say, I believe I can do anything? I just have here, Josh, I believe I can do anything.
I don't remember him saying that. I know he almost confesses at this point. He almost confesses, but...
Right. And then...
I think because I don't know if you said it here or later in the movie, but he basically says, you know, being at this competition is kind of giving me the confidence that I can, you know, go conquer things on my own. Which maybe is the explanation of why he never left Alaska. Is he feels like he's not ready to leave the nest, even though the parents aren't there.
Right. Okay. So then meanwhile, Mrs. Mueller storms up to the room. She goes to Julian and she's like, listen, I need to see your ID. And then Meg is like, oh, come on. Could you believe this, Etienne? He tried to tell me that Julian has a twin. Ha ha ha. And Mrs. Mueller's like, he's not wrong.
But why is she mad at Meg though? She's mad at everybody.
I think she's mad at Meg because Meg's been very visibly hanging out with who she thinks is one of the chefs in the competition, and it just happens to be the guy who they just caught cheating.
And also, if you're in charge, you're the first person that gets blamed for anything.
Exactly. That's why you hire an event planner. Not my problem, it's theirs.
Right.
Oh, so the event planner gets blamed.
Yes.
Well, that's
and then
not fun.
she's mad because she has a thing for lying. She hates lying, and he just got caught lying to her.
Oh.
And then Mrs. Mueller kicks Julian.
Kicks Meg in the face. Oh.
Well, she did kick her in the face with her words. She did verbally kick her in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then she berates her, and she's like, "I would have, if it wasn't that it's too late, I would have gotten rid of you." Like, she totally berates her.
Yeah.
And so then we're back at the hotel, and the brothers are talking, and then they kind of apologize to each other and realize that they do love each other.
Well, that's
nice. And then Josh tells Julian, you know, Julian, you were actually right, and I don't want to be the guy that lacks ambition anymore. And then Julian is like, you know, Josh, you need to go straighten things out with Meg because she really likes you.
Did you notice this? Did you find it weird that Josh is still wearing the microchipped bracelet? They've banned him from the competition. So why are they letting him wear the take the damn bracelet off, dude?
That would have been the first thing I would have done because it would have been annoying for 3 days.
Yeah.
But maybe if you try to cut it, you get electrocuted or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was like, you have to shower with it.
Serious thing.
Because she was like, you can never take it off. You even have to shower with it.
So now I feel bad because this whole time we've been like joking and calling Chester homeless. Maybe they forced Chester into servitude. Like he's because remember he was in the competition, so maybe he's still chipped and can't leave.
Right.
Oh, Chester's got one of those things too.
Well, that's my theory now.
Yeah.
Oh. These people are like dogs. They get chipped and they can't go outside of the yard. They're stuck.
They're fenced in Malta.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next part is when I'm like, oh my gosh, I like this movie. Because
at this point, isn't it a little too late?
I liked it. No, I liked it. No, I already liked it. But then what happened next, I was like, that's really sneaky. This is really good. Because Meg is pissed at them, but then Meg is like, okay, I discovered a loophole. Since you didn't sign your full name and you put J. Northrop, that means that you can stay. You've signed the contract and you can stay in the contract.
Yeah, they basically said that the way the contract was worded, it said that the person signing the contract is who they say they are. And so it never says in the contract his name is Josh Northrop or Julian Northrop. It just says sign here, and he wrote J. Northrop.
Right. And so she's like,
there's a lot of gray areas over there in Malta.
And I love when she's like, and we're going to change it.
Yeah, right.
Year.
Malta is such a fucked up place that they're like, you are wearing a microchip and you are staying here forever, but loopholes in contracts.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Are we sure this is a real place? Yeah. Maybe I do want to go there now. Just out of curiosity.
And then all of a sudden they start talking about like loopholes. Like there's all these loopholes for all these different things.
I bet there are.
Because then she was like, then there was another loophole that if your sous chef quits, wink, wink, you can get another one. And so Henry was like, oh, well, then I quit. And so then Julian became the sous chef.
Yeah. I do feel like if I were running this organization that's running this contest, I would sue Meg, because if there are all these loopholes, that's her fault.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Meg is bad at her job. There, I said it. Happy International Women's Day.
Wait, and obviously they didn't get a lawyer to look at the contract either,
right?
Because that's the lawyer's job to find that stuff and point it out.
Well, law doesn't exist over there in Malta apparently, so lawyers don't get a lot of work.
True.
They have to zoom them in, but then it's a little confusing. They're like,
right.
What's going on over there in Malta? You doing what?
So then they make the final dish, and Julian and Josh made baked Alaska.
Oh.
And Josh won. So actually Josh thanks Meg, and I was like, oh wow, I like Meg. She's not a bitch. Because he thanked Meg, and Meg is like, okay, so I'm really pissed at you, but I'm open to make this work, but let's give it 2 months, and let's actually with this do the 2-month rule.
Actually, he's the one that asks her for it, or demands it, kind of. Because he reminds her about the rule, and he's like, I want my 2 months, which I thought was a nice way to ask for it.
But I like the way that she wasn't a bitch about it. She was like, okay. And even when she was mad at him, she wasn't she was mad, but she wasn't like
Right. She
that mad.
She wasn't like
Yeah, she
the
was gonna
woman
carry
running
her.
the competition mad at Chester mad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like she was mad, but she was like, you know, you can tell that like, oh, she can get over this. She just needs a little time.
Right.
So
Then her dad walks in, and all of a sudden, her dad walks in, right?
He called.
Right. He called, and he's proud of her.
Oh, he called.
And so-
Okay.
So
Oh,
she's
he calls.
happy.
Yes, right. He calls.
So she's happy because her dad is proud of her.
Meg, I'm proud of you for acquiring black market truffles to hold this event for free in my hotel, even though the event was a massive disaster because there was fraud and deception at the center of it. I'm proud of you.
Right.
I'm proud of
probably
you for
was
making
like-
a Chester my suite mate
Right.
and sleeping in my walk-in and moving into my walk-in closet.
He's not even given his
Right.
own room. He's staying in the dad's room, and the dad can't do anything about it because of Malta's lack of law.
I'm so proud of you.
Right. Right. Oh, okay. So then we cut to it's you know, time has moved forward, and Josh and Julian are both at the restaurant. And the restaurant's getting ready to open. They have like reservations. They're very excited about it.
Sure they do.
And then Meg shows up, and Meg is now living in New York. And we find out that like the 2 months, like they did wait almost 2 months. Like, because they were talking and they said like the 2 months, like didn't they have like a week left or something? Like it wasn't, they were like the 2 months is almost up.
Well, basically what happened is Josh planned the grand reopening of the restaurant to coincide with that 2 month mark. So she's there like right before the 2 months start. So he wasn't sure if she was going to show up.
And what I liked about this is in the end, no one had to give up anything. She had her business. He had his business. And everybody had their business. And yeah, that was, because that is like my one bone of contention with these movies is somebody ends up giving something up and no one had to give anything up.
Right.
And they could have thriving careers, and they kissed, and that was it.
Yeah, they were kissing away, eating each other's faces.
Oh, no, that's right. They were making out. Like, they had a makeout.
They were making out. They didn't care. And they're like exhibitionists, too. They like doing it in front of people. And you know they're getting it on that night.
And the camera did like a shot where they like went around them as like they're making out in the middle of the restaurant.
It was scandalous. Well, Malta's got some history. I'm looking it up on Wikipedia. Malta's been inhabited from about 5900 BC, since the arrival of settlers on the island of Sicily. And it goes on and on with this.
Picture it. Sicily.
Lots of stuff going on in Malta. Anyway.
So I liked this movie. I really did. What did you guys think?
I liked it a lot. Go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I just thought the elements were dumb. Did I like it? I don't know. I guess now that we've gone through it beat by beat, I find enjoyable elements of it.
I enjoyed it very much, and I didn't think I was going to. Even though I'm glad that Hallmark is doing more movies that have gay characters at the center of it, I was a little worried about this. It sounded so corny, but I feel like they were aware of how corny it was, and I liked the fact that they were pushing the boundaries for Hallmark. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Now Hallmark, if you're gonna have a man kiss another man, which they did, you might as well say they're gay.
Yeah.
You may as well just say it.
I am actually, I've come around on my thinking on this. At first, it bothered me when they didn't, but now I'm like, you know what? I feel like they're trying to ease their audience into this. They're trying to ease it in through the lens of you probably know someone that is that thing. So let's acknowledge that thing even exists, and the more we do that, then we'll eventually be able to say the word, and it won't seem so weird.
And to be honest, I do tease them doing this stuff, But in reality, honestly, I'm glad that they are not only trying, they are actually making a legitimate effort.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious that they're making a legitimate effort. So I can't hate on that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other places will be like, we're going to be more diverse, and then don't do anything. They're actually doing.
Yeah. The only thing I'll ding them on, and it's minor at this point, is that so far the gay characters we've had in Hallmark movies have still not been the central romance of the movie.
Right.
And I feel like they're slowly moving us towards that, but we still haven't seen that yet.
Once again, Hallmark, Lifetime beat you at your own game. You better get it together.
Yeah. It's progress. I guess we should also add that it was one actor playing both twins.
Yes.
Jeremy
and he
Jordan.
did a good job.
Yeah. He's a Broadway star, right?
Yeah, because he did a good job, because it really did seem like they were two different people.
Yeah, it was actually very believable. The effects were meh, but him playing both parts was very believable.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, there was the stuff I like. So yeah.
Anywho, if you want to find me, you can find me at my website, which is leskirkendallbarrett.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Les Kirkendall Barrett. Kurt. Oh, sorry, Jason.
Go to Kurt. Let's switch it up.
Well, I was looking. You could go to kurtfitzpatrick.com, K-U-R-T, but I wanted to promote Les's Rogue Show.
Oh, thank you.
Can I do that? That is called...
Yes.
So if you go to Rogue Festival, look up Rogue Festival online. Les is in a show, has his own show called The Real Black Swan, and that plays on Friday, March 12th at 9 p.m. Pacific. And I'm doing, if you remember last year, I was doing the sketches in Fringe live stream every week. I had an unaired sketch, and it's going to be showing this week in the Rogue Show Fringe Factor Online Edition. That's going to be...
Wait.
Yeah.
So is it like the hidden tapes, the found tapes?
Yes, it is. It's an unaired sketch, and it's finally finding its home. It's finally going to be aired. It's only been seen by like 2 people, so now it's going to air as part of like the pre-show in the show Fringe Factor Online Edition, playing Thursday, March 11th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and that's also in the Rogue Festival. So that's exciting.
Yes. And Jason.
Oh, yes. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Big Shot Jason. You can find all 3 of us on Instagram at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. And please rate and review us on whatever app you're listening to us through, whichever podcast app. 5 stars are the highest stars that they give. We would love that. It helps more people find the show and spread the love. Thank you.
And you, by the way, you can find us on either Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or Pandora.
And iHeart.
And iHeartRadio. So you have six different avenues to find us. So whatever you listen to us on, give us a review. We would love that. And I guess that's it. So until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.